Are you looking to move to Johnstown, but you want to buy a house that's maybe a little bit more economical? You don't want to drop thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and buy the biggest house possible. You want to buy something that's more affordable. If that's you, keep watching, because we're going to talk about 4 different neighborhoods in Johnstown that are more economical. Hi, my name is Jamie Eklund. I'm a realtor here in the beautiful state of Colorado. Now, on this channel, we talk about things that might help you make decisions on moving into the state. Things like different towns in the neighborhoods. We try to help give you more information so that you can make the best decision possible. So if these things interest you, hit the thumbs up button if you like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Now, I talk to people all the time who are buying houses in Colorado, and I help them answer questions that they may be asking about the cities and the neighborhoods. So if that's you, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to help you as you navigate through all these different questions. Now, I know everybody's opinion on what economical is relative, but we're going to look at some of the more economical neighborhoods in Johnstown. Now, these neighborhoods are really going to be right around the $400,000 to $450,000, upwards of $500,000 price points. And so that's my definition of what is more economical. Within Colorado, that is more economical at this point in time. So that is what we're going to be looking at. The first neighborhood that we're going to be looking at is the Landings. Now, this is not an older neighborhood, but it's also not newer either. You're looking at the mid-90s, early 2000s, where most of these were built. It's a fairly small neighborhood. It's got a nice little park in the middle of it. It's close to the city center. It's close enough to I-25. So it's a nice little neighborhood. But the houses here were built a little bit more economical. And so you can get into a house for $400,000 to $450,000 in this neighborhood. Some of the nicer ones, are going to go for $500,000, maybe a little bit more. But some of the cheaper ones are going to be kind of in that price point. Now, another neighborhood you might consider is the Parish Heights neighborhood. Now, this neighborhood is considerably older, and so you have to be careful because sometimes the condition of these houses is kind of rough. And so some of them, if you don't mind doing some elbow work and putting in some sweat equity on the houses, you can get for the low 400s, 450 if you don't mind doing some of that work yourself. Now, I would caution people, because it is an older neighborhood, some of the houses are in the early 1900s, and because of that, they can come along with some old house issues that can be very costly. So you just need to know what you're getting yourself into. Now, some of the houses in this area have been completely updated already, and some of those will go $550,000 and above, and so those tend not to be as economical. But if you can get yourself into a good house that maybe hasn't had all the updates yet and do those yourself, you can probably get a pretty good deal of a house. Now, maybe buying such an old house kind of scares you. I don't blame you. Johnstown Center might actually be a better neighborhood for you. Now, these houses start about $425,000, $450,000, and so you can get a house bought fairly economical in the neighborhood, and the neighborhood itself was built in the mid-90s, so you're not going to have all those old house issues. But it's still old enough that some of the houses may have been, let's say, used pretty rough, and so you can still get into them and still do some updates and do some cosmetic things that can help bring value to that house while still getting it purchased at a better price point. Now, the last neighborhood that I'm going to mention is the Johnstown Farms neighborhood. Now, this one's even newer than Johnstown Center. It's built in the early 2000s to 2015, and so you're still going to have even less issues here. Now, the price point is going to be a little bit more. You're going to start about $450,000 for this neighborhood. But you can still get yourself into some houses that might still be on a little bit on the rough side and do some cosmetic repairs on them that can add a lot of value to the neighborhood, and you'll be pretty secure if you can get the house bought cheap enough. And some of these houses, are still fairly economical for the neighborhood and for the area. Now you can find pockets of economical housing all around Johnstown in really good neighborhoods as well. I'm going to put a relocation guide down in the description. And so if you are thinking of moving to Johnstown and you want more information, download that. It's absolutely free, and hopefully it'll help you as you make such a big decision. I'm also going to encourage you to give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to help answer any questions that you might have.